Communication is necessary for any business to grow. Hi y'all, thanks so much for joining me. In the next 10 minutes, actually make that in less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you guys 4 ways that you can use communication to not only grow your network but also grow your business, right? So like I shared this video, if you get value from it, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can also like as well. Do appreciate y'all's support. As you join, you can say hi and you can say where you're joining from or type #replay. I'm Dr. P. I'm a business coach and I'm here to bring this information to you about 4 ways that you can use communication, 4 ways to communicate really, so you can grow your business, right? So yesterday, I don't know if you've been following the lives all week, but yesterday I talked about networking and how you can use it as a goal for your business for this year. And then before that day, I think it was on Monday, I also did a live on using goals, how you can actually write those goals for your business. So I'm connecting how to do the goals and giving you the idea of using networking as one of those possible goals. And yesterday, in that conversation, we did talk about communication. And I shared a little bit about my background with using communication as I built my network, as I went through graduate school and my career as a school psychologist, and also moving on to my career as a business coach. Because communication is really important to building not only your business, it's really important for building any relationship, really. And with communication, you learn so much, especially if it's a 2-way communication, not a 1-way communication. We talked about that yesterday in that live on networking, being a shared relationship, not a 1-way relationship. And like I said yesterday, and I'm going to say again today, when you're doing the communication, when you're communicating with others, you're interacting with others. And I learned, through my experiences in schools. Oh, by the way, I said who I was, but let me share a little bit more about me. So I'm Dr. P. I'm a business coach, and I used to be a school psychologist in K-12 schools in the U.S. on the East and the West Coast, right? And my passion for coaching, for teaching, I also am an adjunct faculty in a graduate psychology program online. So being in an online environment, communication is crucial. Communication is crucial in face-to-face environment as well, because the thing is, I've worked in jobs along my whole life, wherein you're in the same room with people, you're in cubicles, or you're in different buildings with other people. I've worked in different office settings. So in order to communicate, in order to actually get your ideas across, you did have to communicate. And then I use those skills to also help me with building my network, because sometimes you had to actually be right in front of the person to have that communication with them. Because that's what I did when I attended campus events, when I attended and presented and trained at state, national, and international conferences, really have people in front of you, and you can have that conversation. And yes, there's nothing like being around a group of people. You get that energy, you get that excitement, and you get to share ideas, and you just start to blossom with building up your relationships, right? And then I also build some connections with digital. So being online and social media, reaching out to people within the career field, just to connect with them so I could share my content and learn from their content, and also joining groups on LinkedIn and on Facebook, so you could join with other professionals and get that interaction with other professionals. So I was able to do those things. And being a member of professional organizations, I was also able to learn, that value in when you're doing those letters and sharing, doing those posters and sharing those things, not just within the organization, but also outside of the organization, because you have to be able to communicate not just inside your organization, but outside. So being an entrepreneur, being that small business owner, being that coach, that consultant, that independent business owner, being that person, you have to be communicating with others, right? Because in the business world, you got that whole internal communication that's upward, that's downward, that's lateral, and you also have external communication. So as an entrepreneur, that external communication is really important for you, especially if you're now starting your business. It is really important for you because you have to be interacting with possible vendors and possible partners and your prospects, your clients, your customers. You have to be communicating with others. So knowing these 4 ways of communication can help you out tremendously as an entrepreneur, because this is your dream, this is your your biggest desire, you decided to start your own business, so that you can be your own boss. So you really want your business to be successful. So in order to be successful, having various ways of communication is what is going to get you there. So like I said, I want to share 4 ways of communication that can help you with growing not only your network, but also growing your business. So let's get started on those 4 ways. So those 4 ways, right? Oh, and by the way, before I forget, it doesn't matter which form of communication you're using. What matters is what you're bringing to the table, the value that you're going to be bringing to the table to be sharing with others. Not just saying buy my product, buy my service. You are bringing value. You're exchanging information. You're sharing ideas, sharing skills, sharing strategies. That's what's going to be important regardless of the form of communication that you use. Because think about it. Do you like when somebody is always talking to you only to get something from you? Seriously, do you like that? Chances are you don't, because when we interact with others, we don't want a situation where they always want to take from us. So think about this in your business. As an entrepreneur, when you're interacting with others, you want to be able to have that exchange of information with others. You want to be able to share with them and learn from them as well. Not just take from them, because you don't like that when somebody does that to you. And even in your personal life, you don't like it when somebody only calls you up when they want something from you, right? You see that number comes out, you're like, oh, there she goes again, she wants something from me, or there he goes again, he wants something from me, because that's the only time I hear them, when they want something. You don't want that for your business. What you want for your business is making connections and communicating with others that can be meaningful, because at the end of the day, those people who are your connections on LinkedIn, those people who are your followers on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Twitter, those people who are your friends on Facebook, because they're seeing the value that you're sharing, those people could someday become an actual customer of yours without you even having to run and chase them down. So that's why the communication is really important, and sharing value in your communication. Not just saying buy my product, but sharing some value about what you do, sharing information about your goods, about your services. That's what's going to help your business to grow and also help you to network with others, so that you can also learn from them and they can learn from you. So here's the thing, those 4 ways of communication that can be beneficial for you, I'm going to get started with them. And those 4 ways, the first one is actually a favorite for a lot of people that I know. They really, really enjoy this one, especially people who are extroverted. They really enjoy this first way of communication that I'm going to share with you, and that's that face-to-face communication. They really enjoy that face-to-face communication. As I mentioned before, being face-to-face and being in a room with other people, feeling that energy, that excitement for, just being around others and being able to share that in a conversation. That is what a lot of people love. That's what a lot of people enjoy. And it helps you to make those connections in person sitting across from you, or standing across from you, so you can interact with others and get to learn about them as you're there and you're standing. I know right now, with how things are, that's not really the situation. How things are, we're not really able to interact face to face like we used to. But as soon as things are in such a way that we can get out there, get back out to the coffee shop and the restaurants and whatever other location that you find to be comfortable, it could be your office space or wherever it is, that we can get back to that point where we can have those face-to-face conversations. That is something that could be beneficial and that you can use, so you can keep that in your strategy toolbox for something that you can use to help you communicate with others. Then the second way is another one of those kind of old school ways of communicating, and that's by phone. Yep, I said it, by phone. So communicating with others by phone can be very beneficial because it gives that personal connection. So they get to actually hear you. And when you're communicating on the phone, you can still hear the excitement in someone's voice, or you can hear when they're, oh my gosh, done and done. So you can really hear that difference, and it can help you kind of figure out if this is a connection that you want to be having, and also help you kind of pace how you're sharing the information, because what you're sharing might be a little bit too much for them. So, and it's still going to get you to know the person, and the person is still going to get to know you. So you can still communicate by phone. Actually, today I did have a connection on LinkedIn. Give me a call today, just to reach out to me. But unfortunately, I was actually in the middle of another session, so I wasn't able to get back to that connection. But we will be connecting. We have already scheduled through our calendars and everything, so we have a time that we're actually going to meet and still be able to connect, right? So even having that phone call can be so beneficial. And especially now, having that phone call and talking to someone, because as an entrepreneur, you're probably working from home and you're the only person right now in your business, or you might have one or two other people. So you kind of missing that ability to talk to others and, just share ideas with others. So having that phone call can give you that added personal connection that you're looking for. Then, now I'm going to talk about the third one. This third one is kind of like a big one, and it really exploded last year for a lot of businesses who weren't even looking in this direction when it came to communicating with their prospects, with their clients, with their possible customers. A lot of businesses didn't expect this, so it kind of took them by storm, so to speak. But it's something that if you haven't already done so, I really encourage you to take a look back at your strategic plan and see how you can infuse this into your strategic plan. Because if you are online in any shape, form, or fashion, you are going to be using electronic communication. Electronic communication is going to be very beneficial for your business. And if you weren't doing it before March of last year, you better have started to do it, because that's what was going to help your business to actually survive, is having that electronic communication with others, right? So you have to actually start communicating with others electronically if you haven't already, or you may have started and you might just be using one way of electronic communication. So I'm talking about those emails, I'm talking about social media, networking, doing those posts on social media, chatting on social media, attending web conferences. And those are the type of things when you're looking at that whole electronic communication. So when you're engaging in those, you're sharing information with others. And when you're sharing information electronically, you actually can be sharing information visually, verbally. You can be sharing it in written form. You can be sharing it in audio form. And they can also be interactive, right? So you can share information in so many different forms just using electronic communication. So just wanted to throw that out there, that you do have multiple ways that you can use electronic communication. And if you don't already know this, on LinkedIn and on Facebook, you can actually leave voice notes for people. So yeah, they might have sent you a text, but you can actually respond using a voice note. And even better, like on LinkedIn, you can actually respond using a video message of yourself to whatever the person had written to you. So you can still kind of beef up that whole personal connection. The person isn't there in front of you, but having that voice note, having that visual note, that video note, that can also be very beneficial for you when you're making those electronic connections, right? So now I've talked about those three. Let me get to the fourth one. The fourth one is written communication. And written communication, that is looking at the letters, that's looking at memos, that's looking at posters. And in the electronic world, that's also looking at your blogs, So that's also incorporating the blogs that you have when you're online with others. So you still are using different forms of written content. And written communication does also include those posts that you make. It can also include the infographics that you design for your business. So you can use written forms of communication to share information with others, right? And your letters can also be, paper, or they can also be digital. So you can use letters either which way, right? So the thing is that with all four of these, you can use them, all four of them. A big set of your time right now might be with using electronic communication, and there's so many different softwares and programs out there to help you with improving how you use electronic communication. So that's why I really encourage you, if you haven't already, really sit down and come up with a social media strategic plan to help you and your business to grow and attract and connect with your prospects so that you can grow your business. Because that's going to be crucial, not just now in these times, but in the future. You have to have that, have various ways of connecting with your audience. Don't just use one single way of connecting with your audience, because that might be damaging for you. So if you've been using one way and that's not working out for you, it's not getting you the results that you wanted, there you have it, 4 ways that you can use to actually grow your business. And within those 4 ways, there are different types of communication that you can use within them, so you can now kind of mix it up a little bit so you can grow your business. So thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate your support. Remember, solutions plus actions get you results. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, y'all.